Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is RemovableSanity, and today I'm reviewing Sledders on the Series X, developed by Hankey Games and published by Bonus Stage Publishing. So what is Sledders? Sledders is a realistic physics-based snowmobile simulator. The premise is you take on the role of an anonymous rider who's out to enjoy and manoeuvre the big open terrain, plough through tons of fresh snow, conquer the mountains and reach the peak faster than your friends. The game boasts 5 huge open maps to explore, with steep hills, mountain, lots of trees and open areas ready to be ridden by you, including plenty of jumps and also water. 32-player multiplayer and lobbies are also available. First up is accessibility. With regards to accessibility, the developers have added in some options: FOV options, auto counter steer, auto guard, hot foot toggle, and a small selection of subtitle options. Audio options are basic, however, so those with auditory issues may struggle. Next up is gameplay. As someone who has ridden snowmobiles, I was excited to hear that a physics-based game was on the cards. These powerful beasts are often overlooked when it comes to any snow-orientated games, so this sounded right up my alley. The game touts itself as a free-ride snowmobile simulator with real-world physics in deep snow backcountry. And in fairness to it, that's exactly what its main selling point is, and potentially its main undoing. The moment I jumped into the game, I knew there would be a bit of a learning curve for the mechanics of the game itself. But the real impact of this really didn't hit me until many frustrated hours later, which was eased with some online searching and practice. From the moment you enter the home screen to the moment you choose a rider and sled and start your riding experience, you'll be faced with a stark reality: this game is for primarily enthusiasts. It showcases single player and multiplayer and some options regarding the rider and sled. When entering single player or multiplayer, there is nothing but your own ability to explore the world around you. No activities, rewards or objectives and goals. It's you and the world the developers created. For some, this is too much choice to handle. For others, this is the perfect excuse to do as you please. You spawn at predetermined locations and off you go. Well, not exactly. You see, controls and movements of the sleds are based on weight, snow density and leaning to get the very best out of your riding. However, I would say that the controls are somewhat counterintuitive for the average player, and I would recommend turning on auto counter steer to help you get to grips with the mechanics. Because of this, lots of players will be put off from the outset and may very well go straight to refund for simply not understanding the mechanics well enough and spending time learning them. Controlling the snowmobile will be a challenge. The left stick is for you to tilt or lean, and the right stick is controlling the skis of your snowmobile. On their own, they do very little in turning your sled. It's a combination that will make the sled go where you want. In reality, you need to train yourself to remember that a left turn, pushing both joysticks in, and a right turn, pushing both joysticks out. I think the option of button remapping may be a better solution here, as it was a nightmare to turn whilst aiming my thumbsticks inwards. The biggest issue for me though is the left joystick sensitivity is way too high, and a light push either side can get you to fishtail in a matter of milliseconds, whilst the right joystick seems to do little even at full turn. This is nothing like real life, as turning your skis with no leaning provided some minor turning, which I found in game, due to the sensitivity, does absolutely nothing. The off-trail snow itself also seems a little over dramatic, with your snowmobile digging in more times than I liked, just by simply pushing the throttle a little. It sometimes felt as if I was riding through quicksand the moment any slowdown happened, and would instantly dig me in knee deep into a pit of snow. That's not saying this doesn't happen in deep snow, but not as quick as portrayed in the game, and does need adjusting by about 5 or 10%. This, however, is in stark contrast to when you're on predetermined trails, as that feels like there's little to no traction at all, with a slight turn almost ready to push you into a 180. Now I know the enthusiasts will counter, you just don't understand the difference between a long base track and short base track. For those that don't know, be aware that long tracks are much more suitable for off-trail, with short base better for on-trail. Well, at least it should be, but I felt little meaningful difference in either of the machines I used. Also, when it comes to the digging in issue, I've been stuck in deep snow before, and a little shaking and leaning often got me out. No such luck in game, but it does compensate with the ability to respawn within a short distance in any direction you like, which is a great help when in the wooded areas. Wrong foot either side is perfect for riding uphill sideways, but learning that ability takes a huge amount of time, and most will simply spawn hop their way up a mountain, as it's actually quicker in getting to the location you want. All of this knowledge will be through experimentation or going online to find out what the buttons do. A lot of the problems I found could be easily resolved by full tutorials instead of a 2-second on-screen prompts that are available, as this would easily be the ideal solution for new players in understanding what they need to do and how to do it. Now, this may come off as there's no fun to be had, and that's not true. The exploration of going anywhere is fun, and learning the mechanics will be very enjoyable for some. Multiplayer is where it is at though, with you and up to 32 others finding the right hill or bump to try and do some crazy flip, which is not easy in any shape or form. Riding with others to try and find the perfect mount to do tricks, or jumping over fallen riders was a true blast. When I finally managed to do a backflip with my machine, it felt so good. My recommendation would be to try out the retro sleds first, as this seems to be less twitchy than the more modern versions. This is a hard game to master, and left to the player to work out what everything does and how to enjoy it. Once the controls clicked, I really started to enjoy what is on offer and understand what this game is about. For the more casual players, this may be hell, but for more snowmobile enthusiasts, this will be heaven. Next is graphics. Visually, this game looks gorgeous, with the 5 huge arenas to explore, hiding unique locations, tough terrain, and opportunities to really do some crazy stunts. The vastness of these areas really do sell the game's open world nature that showcases some of the most gorgeous terrain available. Exploration is hugely key, and while spawn points at the beginning is limited, you can place a spawn or waypoint in any location, allowing you to come back to any location you have discovered. One thing I really would have loved is the ability to keep those spawns and waypoints in multiplayer as it is in single player mode, when you quit out of the map and go back in. This would help the feel of progressing in terms of exploring every square inch of the map's landscape with your team. There is some exploration achievements like getting to the top of the mountain, which really does showcase the beauty of these landscapes. The game also has fully licensed snowmobile brands on board, so if you know your sleds, they are here ready and waiting for you. Customization is equally important, and you can tailor the sleds and the rider to how you want with the tools they give you. It took me a second to notice the options to customize the colors, but once you find it, you will soon be tweaking to your heart's content. The camera is good, with the ability to change weather, time of day, and distance from the rider on the go. I did have some issues though when hill climbing, that it locked way too close to the back of my rider. Even changing it to be distant, the camera still limited my view to see where I was going when trying to climb the mountain. I could never figure out how to change that, even though there was some pop-ups telling me how. Overall, frame rate and stability was superb in all of my gameplay, but I did spot the odd tearing in the distance when riding the trails. Overall, nothing that can't be patched later on. And lastly, it is sound. When it comes to the music in this game, there isn't any, which is a shame, as I'd like to listen to some calming melodies as I make my way through the deep snow. Instead, the developers have opted to go with the snowmobile's engines to do all the heavy lifting. That would be fine. Again, I think they need to update it to make it more dynamic, as a 2-stroke engine sounds identical to a 4-stroke one. Most riders and even bikers will know this isn't the case, and does need an update if the only thing you hear is the roar of your ride. Environmental sounds in terms of wildlife is also none, or at least nothing I could pick up. And it's a shame, as I'd like to hear the sounds of something other than the crunch of the snow. Now the snow sound is good under the vehicle, but again it would be nice to hear the sound of snow dropping from trees, etc. My recommendation here would be a good quality soundbar to pick up on the roar of that engine to its fullest. And this leads me onto the rating of the game. Now I rate games in order of avoid, on sale, great purchase and must own. My rating for Sledders is on sale. For the lover of snowmobiles, I would say this is a great purchase game, but I also have to take into account the general public as well, hence the on sale recommendation. Also for me, the price is a bit high for the content available. I understand the logic of making your own fun, but you could still add objectives, goals and tutorials as an option. This bare bones style will put a lot of gamers off and really pushes the game for the enthusiasts only. The game is currently priced on Xbox at £29.24, or approximately $35, and depending on your skill and patience would give you about 50 plus hours worth of gameplay to understand the game's mechanics and explore the maps thoroughly. There is multiplayer, so you can add on as many hours you want there, but overall the amount of enjoyment you will get out of this is solely based on you. For what it is, the game does most things really well and is fun to play. However, there is some elements that do need improvement, and to be fair, the small team of developers, they are listening and putting out regular updates. If the developers want more players aside from the specific snowmobile enthusiasts though, they are going to have to make some compromises and add in more content and help hints regarding controls. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I do hope you like this review, and if you do, please like, share and subscribe if you so wish. And if you would like to put some notes or even just a comment in the comment section, I do like reading them. Anyway, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you all again soon.